thank our viewers here in Nigeria and around the world. Let's continue the conversation, and this is the final lap about the future of Nigeria's economy. We'll talk about the federal state. Let's share a few minutes about the legislature. Muda Yusuf, the Director General at the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, our guest for this Easter Monday programming. Thank you. Let's bring the legislature into this. The outgoing National Assembly will pride itself that they've passed a number of legislations that have helped business or will help business and economy moving forward. So how important and strategic do you think the National Assembly is in the future of the Nigerian economy?
The National Assembly is very strategic. You know, they have three key roles. They have the role of, appropriation, appropriating resources for the country. They have the responsibility for legislation, making laws, and they also have the responsibility for oversight of the executive. So these are very critical roles that they have to play to ensure that things are done the right way, to ensure that we have the right kind of policies and the right kind of appropriation. So I believe they have a very critical role to play. But it's also important that these roles are played with sincerity, with commitment, and with integrity. It's very important. Because for those of us in the private sector, we have had some very bad experience with some of these legislators when they talk about public hearing, investigating things, and all sorts of dirty things happen, which is not, it does not befit the image and profile of status of the National Assembly. So I think it is very important going to the next phase of the next National Assembly that we ensure that we bring a lot of integrity into the process.
Appropriating resources,
yes,
as part of the three pillars of the National Assembly.
Yes.
And I'm interested in that.
Well, the power of appropriation belongs to the National Assembly. That is what the Constitution says. That is why the government, the executive, had to present the medium-term expenditure framework, which they have to approve. That's why the executive has to present the appropriation bill to them for consideration.
Do you think the National Assembly or the legislature is pushing the executive enough, the various ministers, head of agencies? Do you think they're pushing them enough to deliver on critical economic indices?
I think they are trying their best. They are pushing them enough. But again, it depends on the kind of integrity that you bring into the process. Because there is a way you push somebody, not for altruistic reasons, but for some other motives. And you can also push somebody for patriotic reasons. So we need to separate all of this. Because when all these processes are tainted by other motives other than nationalistic motives, then we have a problem. And that is why we have the kind of challenges we have in terms of image and perception of the National Assembly. So we need to ensure that in the process of appropriation, in the process of interrogating the ministers, in the process of public hearing, we do these things with the best of integrity and honesty. That is very important.
Do you think we've had so much hearings than necessary?
Well, I won't say...
Public hearings, probes, almost everything has been probed.
A lot of that. We have perhaps more than necessary. And sometimes you tend to even question the motives of some of those hearings. So that is why I'm talking about the issue about the integrity of the entire process. If the integrity is high, if the intention is good enough, I think it is good for checks and balances. That is the whole essence of democracy, to ensure that people do. But when you ask people to go and bring receipts, how much taxes have you paid, go and bring... There was a time private sector people were going with these bags, what they call Ghana must go bags, of documents to the National Assembly.
But that's part of their job. They need to see whether you pay tax. They need all those documents.
There are better ways of doing that. I mean, if you want information of tax, you have the tax authorities there. You have all sorts of government agencies that deal on a regular basis on these issues. Why should you ask the chief executives of companies to come and line up in the National Assembly with heavy bags of documents, many of which they could not even go through. That is not the kind of oversight that we expect. We should do things more professionally and with better dignity.
Do you think the National Assembly is doing more of oversight than appropriating resources? When you talk oversight, do you think that, yes, just appropriating resources and getting the executives checked or promoted to do what is in the best interest of the country?
I think they are doing it.
Yeah, because sometimes...
But whether they are doing it well is a different thing. Whether they are doing it well is a different, because we have had stories of even some public sector agencies that have complained about the kind of harassment and all sorts of negative tendencies when it comes to issues of appearing before them, issues of public hearing, issues of investigation.
Nigerians generally don't seem to like the National Assembly one after the other.
No. I think they also have a responsibility to project the right kind of image. That is important. Because when people have experiences that are not good, I mean, there's no secret. If somebody appears before you and you are making demands and all of that, somebody will hear. Somebody will hear. I mean, the money has to come from somewhere. All sorts of things. There is no secret. So, when they perform functions with dignity and with integrity, they will earn the respect. But when there are issues about, trying to see what is in it for them, and it creates a very big image and perception problem for them. Then there's also need for capacity. Because for you to be able to also do a proper oversight or do proper appropriation, you must have the capacity to do it.
So what does it take to be a legislature?
Get voted there, that's all. You get voted and you are there.
That's all.
If you have the money, do the campaign, and you find yourself there. That is what it is. That is democracy.
Regardless of where I'm coming from.
Of course, regardless of where you're coming from, regardless of anything. I mean, that also affects the quality. I mean, these are part of challenges of democracy. It's a game of numbers. You know what it is to be able to mobilize people to get the votes. We're all here. We know what happens.
So once you get done, you just become a legislature.
Of course.
And if you move your way around, you become the chairman of a committee.
Exactly. That's it.
Or the Senate president.
Exactly.
Or the Speaker of the House.
Yeah, that is it. So there's nothing so special. Nothing special. But that is democracy for you.
So there are no basic requirements, as it were, to be a member of a legislature, of the legislature.
The Constitution is very liberal. Once you meet the age and you have a school start, or what is it, then you are free to go. You are free to go.
Really?
Yeah, that is it. So it's a very liberal.
It's as simple as that?
It's as simple as that. Once you have the money, of course. Because this is cost money.
Money, yeah. Money.
Once you have the money, you are good to go. But the issue of capacity is important. If you look at the U.S. Congress, they have what they call Congressional Budget Office. It's a very strong office in the U.S. Congress and staffed with professionals, economists, accountants, who can give very objective and dispassionate assessment of appropriation or budget. We need that kind of capacity also in our own National Assembly. That is important.
Muda Yusuf, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate your coming on the program today.
Thank you.
The Director General at the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry on this Easter Monday, the state of the economy and the future. We thank our viewers here in Nigeria and around the world. I am Bosun Amofaya. I'll see you again tomorrow, Tuesday, to start a brand new business and market week. Have a great day.